welcome to Studio 5. We have a packed show to share with you this week. Actor Ryan Reynolds joins us with an inside look at some of the themes of the powerful film he's got. We're also going to catch up with him on the red carpet for the Adam Project with the help of a junior reporter from Big Brothers Big Sisters. Recording artist Maurice Griffin is here to share the miracle story behind his latest single. And we're going to travel to New Orleans to celebrate its rich musical history, heritage, and legacy. So let's begin this jam-packed show with this week's countdown of what's new in the world of uplifting entertainment. At number 5, he's back after just 40 days of retirement, and football fans are surprised.
This just in, and I'm told in my ear that this is not a joke. Tom Brady just tweeted, "These past 2 months, I've realized my place is still on the field and not in the stands. That time will come, but it's not now. I love my teammates. I love my supportive family. They make it all possible. I'm coming back for my 23rd season in Tampa. Unfinished business. LFG."
At number 4, more football news from the famous Wilson family. That's NFL star quarterback Russell Wilson and wife, R&B star Ciara. The couple has written a children's book called Why Not You, aiming to inspire young readers to see the value in themselves, be brave, and go after their biggest dreams. But perhaps bigger news. The Seattle Seahawks traded the 33-year-old quarterback, sending him to the Denver Broncos. Well, that is the start of an exciting countdown. We will pick it back up at number 3 after our first break. Right now, we turn to our sit-down with actor Ryan Reynolds. In many ways, his latest project asks a question I often ask in interviews I share right here in Studio 5. If you could go back in time, what would you tell your younger self? The film is called The Adam Project, but we must caution you the film does contain adult language.
Can we maybe slow down? There's no one even following us. Don't look back. Look up.
What did this film do for you and the stories you've established about your dad? I know you've lost him.
I think we're about to have some company. Stop the car.
I don't think anyone's ever going to have perfect closure on losing a parent, but, you know, this movie really kind of spoke to some of the stories that I've always told myself about my father that, you know, at the end of the day, I started to ask myself, are those stories true?
Laura, this is me.
Hi.
You know, I sort of always saw my father as this distant kind of workaholic, kind of unknowable figure who didn't spend enough time with me or something like that. But then when I also realized that, yes, he was some of those things, but he was also a guy that would always, like, at the drop of a hat, go out in the backyard and play catch with me.
I mean, if this is happening to me, it already happened to you, right?
Sometimes it's one of those situations where two things can be true at the same time, and life is not a series of absolutes. It's not binary that way. Like, there's a many shades of gray in it.
So 2050, is it really bad?
It's not great.
Find him.
Get ready to run.
I really sort of saw that sort of crack of light, you know, in the story, and really kind of wanted to unearth it for myself.
What is happening?
You know, all of this is backdropped by obviously a very high concept, you know, spectacle-driven, big action-adventure comedy, wish fulfillment kind of movie, but it's unafraid to sort of tackle issues and things that I think are pretty emotional and vulnerable for a lot of people.
What's going on, honey? Can you just tell me? If I keep having to leave work in the middle of the day, I'm gonna lose my job. It's the 3rd time you've been suspended for fighting.
I know, you'd think I'd be better at it by now.
It's a very big film in terms of the issues it tackles, the special effects, the concept. Were you overwhelmed, nervous about tackling this project?
No, I mean, I've produced 4 movies in my life. This is the 4th. You know, I never go into anything without a really strong plan.
Well, I'm not going to explain my plan to a 12-year-old nerd with an
You don't
inhaler because I
have
do
a
not
plan.
have a plan, but I know somebody who does.
If you plan well enough, you can pivot. You can really stop. And, you know, one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned about filmmaking, and particularly about producing, is that to listen to your movie, because if you listen to it, it'll speak to you.
How do you know my name?
You're Adam Reed, born February 10th, 2010.
we kind of move and pivot in ways that I haven't really experienced in other movies before, and in doing that, it really kind of enriches the story because it changes. You can't just stick to the script. You have to listen to it, and you have all these other elements you're adding, these other actors and other perspectives and people and points of view, and you know, so it was a real amazing experience on that level.
How old are you now?
12.
Why did you need your 12-year-old self?
I didn't need him.
You needed me to fly the jet.
Jet? There's a jet.
It was jet, my jet. What I meant was I didn't need you originally.
You have an intention or a hope as this film is released to the world?
Oh, I really, you know, I think based on the early reactions, it really hits home for a lot of people, and I think there's so many things in the movie that are universally relatable, so I think I love doing this science fiction-y big, you know, time travel kind of element in the movie, but that's really kind of a Trojan horse for this love letter to parenting that we want to slip in there, and so I hope that lands.
I spent 30 years trying to get away from the me that was you. And I'll tell you what. You were the best part all along.
The Adam Project is streaming to Netflix right now, and one of the themes of the film is the importance of mentoring. So with this film, we here in Studio 5 put our mentoring skills to work and tap the country's largest mentoring network, Big Brothers Big Sisters, for a little to hit the red carpet and sharpen his reporting skills.
So you're the director, right? I am the director. Okay, tip number one, you want to know that in advance.
This is Jack reporting for Studio 5.
So catch me. Right? See, yeah, I'm real. There we go. So when you're filming this movie, like how was everything, you know, with the cast, like the relationship between you all?
It was funny, and you know, we all have families, so we really understood what we were making and the emotional part of it.
I think my favorite part about it was just I very rarely do movies that examine anything in my own personal life, and I got to do that in this movie, which is unusual for me.
You know, this movie is so big-hearted and full of laughs and joy.
What was like your favorite moment, like of working with the cast? Man, I just love that the movie is funny and it's fun, but we also wanted something that would be emotional.
It's really just, it's all about the heart.
I wanted to spend more time with my dad, you know?
I really felt like I kind of healed something in a weird way with my own dad.
What was like the hardest part for you to write in the movie?
The hardest part was just getting it made. Like, I started on this 8 years ago, and seeing it not get made for so long was really painful. And then finally getting it made like this has been fantastic.
So there was just a real warmth and a real generosity of spirit on set, and I think it's why so many people responded to the movie as emotional to them, because all of us poured our hearts into it.
Again, The Adam Project is streaming to Netflix right now, but we caution you the film does contain adult language. Still ahead.
I ain't gonna cry no more. Too much love around here to show.
From love, peace, and happiness,
You're the God of miracles,
to God of miracles. What brings you here in this moment is new music. Maurice Griffin is in our studio.
God said, well, why not you? I'm choosing you. I didn't realize it at the moment because you don't think that. You just feel like this is the end for me.
With music and a miracle story. number 3.
God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you.
You can say Dolly Parton is humble. The country music legend is bowing out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame consideration. She posted the notice on Instagram.
Dolly here. Even though I'm extremely flattered and grateful to be nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I don't feel that I've earned that right. I really do not want votes to be split because of me, so I respectfully bow out, she penned, adding, I do hope that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame will understand and be willing to consider me again, if I'm ever worthy. This has, however, inspired me to put out a hopefully great rock and roll album at some point in the future, which I have always wanted to do. My husband is a total rock and roll freak and has always encouraged me to do one. I wish all of the nominees good luck and thank you again for the compliment. Rock on.
At number 2.
Staring at a stop sign, watching people drive by.
Grammy-winning recording artist Mandisa has penned a new book. It's called Out of the Dark: My Journey Through the Shadows to Find God's Joy.
Most of it talks about mental health and my battle with depression. And so it's interesting that I would be talking about that as everything is shutting down and we're being forced to isolate, because that's a big trigger for me. And it really started to unearth a lot of the things that I really thought I had overcome.
That leaves us with just one more story in this week's Countdown. We'll be sharing it very shortly. In this week's One to Watch segment is recording artist Maurice Griffin. He's dropped a new single on the road to completing the next album. The song is called God of Miracles, and Maurice paid a visit here in Studio 5 to share the miracle story behind the music just days before it was released to the world.
It's a new song called God of Miracles. I started writing this song about the goodness and the glories of God.
You're brighter than the stars, wider than the galaxy. Upon the face of the earth, you shine your majesty.
So God of Miracles really explains the glory of Him, His power, His awesome wonder, to remind me, and not just me, but everybody else, that we have someone, something powerful that we can claim as our own, God of Miracles.
Beyond imagination.
So did you find yourself in need of a miracle? What happened?
Yes, I was in need of a miracle. So I was in the hospital. I had an enlarged liver condition, and it was getting bad. I died 3 times. They call it coding. So I coded 3 times. The doctors kept coming in, a bigger plan every time I coded. It was like, we don't know how you're making it, but for some reason, God has chosen you to keep coming back. It was getting worse and worse. So I started singing, because every time I sing, I encourage myself. It was, for me, an encouragement to keep moving, keep going, keep building my self-esteem, to fight to live again. And then I turned it into a song, God of Miracles.
How long of a process were we looking at for this?
3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Were you ready to give up?
Yes, but I just thank God that He took me from complete darkness. I went into a state of depression so heavy that I just said, Lord, I sing about you. I declare your works. I worship you. I love you. I want to show the world that you are great, that you're awesome, that you're powerful, and that you can do anything but fail. And then I didn't think about it. God said, well, why not you? I'm choosing you. And I said, Lord, I don't want to die like this. I don't want to die believing that you can do it and you never did it. I had to realize that whatever God called, in my life to happen, it's for a reason.
When did the song begin to come? Did you start it some years ago, or did it come recently?
I started the song in Jamaica. I was there the previous year before that situation. But I remember I had it in my notes on my phone. So when I was in the hospital, I went through my phone just to kind of encourage myself. And I have a lot of music in my phone, so I just started looking. I was like, oh, I forgot about this song, God of Miracles. I said, I need to start finishing this song and complete it. And so that's how I started, you know, getting my mind focused on something so that I can recover.
Take us through some of the lyrics. What are you saying in the song?
The song says, you're brighter than the stars, wider than the galaxy. Upon the face of the earth, you shine your majesty. Hallelujah. You're the God of miracles. You're smarter than the brain, beyond imagination. Science can't control loving generations. Hallelujah. You're the God of miracles. Rain on me, breathe on me. You're the God of miracles. I'm not looking nowhere else. I'm looking to you. Shine on me, rain on me, breathe on me. You're the God of miracles. And so I'm thankful that God allows me to write things, even though it's about my life, but it can be transparent to the world, because at this stage in our game, God of miracles is really what we're calling out for right now.
God of Miracles is available right now wherever you get your music. Before we take this next break, it is a good time to share this week's story in pictures. Here's this week's Studio 5 Snapshot. This comes courtesy of comedian Amy Poehler, who directs Lucy and Desi, a documentary exploring the unlikely partnership and legacy of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. The Hollywood power couple risked everything to be together and pioneered the television show I Love Lucy. Desi, a refugee from Cuba, whose family lost everything during the Cuban Revolution of 1933. Lucille came from nothing, but with an unrivaled work ethic, built a career as a model, chorus girl, and actress. She found her calling in comedy, first in radio, then television. These images from the Prime Video documentary are this week's Studio 5 Snapshot. Just moments away.
We always pass down the knowledge, but what are we doing with this gift of music? How are we going to move people and change our block?
We travel to New Orleans to celebrate its rich musical history, heritage, and legacy.
It never stopped changing, but it never stopped staying the same.
How'd you like to get a redo on your health, on your body, on your arteries, so you could have the energy you had 20 years ago? The great news is you can. I'm Dr. Mike Roizen, chair of the Wellness Institute at the Cleveland Clinic. I've written 4 New York Times bestsellers. But even better than having to read all that, you can listen to this DVD and watch it. Protect your heart? Yes, you can. Here's how.
Go to CBN.com or call 1-800-700-7000 for your free copy of Protect Your Heart. Let the medical experts show you their new discoveries on how to avoid heart disease and even reverse it. Easy steps to uncover the hidden dangers in your medicine cabinet, reduce stress, and get a complete do-over for your health. Call 1-800-700-7000. That's 1-800-700-7000. Or go to CBN.com to claim your free copy of Protect Your Heart.
Welcome back to Studio 5. Time now to travel to one of my all-time favorite cities, New Orleans, to celebrate its rich musical history, heritage, and legacy. It is the second installment of the award-winning franchise, Take Me to the River. This episode includes the Neville Brothers, Ledisi, Snoop Dogg, Preservation Hall Jazz Band, PJ Morton, and more. And it's narrated by John Goodman.
This is the origins of where it all began. We created rock and roll. We created swing.
You gotta know where you're coming from.
For those who don't know, I will learn you quick.
It's been passed down for many, many years from Congo Square when the slaves used to play on Sunday.
And you had different groups, the rhythms and the music of their home country.
And they brought that struggle, that energy, they put it through the music. All these rhythms and stuff started to melt.
They would communicate, so the music became the language. One thing that made people realize that we had to take the culture more seriously was Katrina.
The scene is nothing short of apocalyptic. 80% of New Orleans is underwater.
There's a lot of negative things you say post-Katrina, but I like to look at the positives. We all just stick together.
We weren't going to let New Orleans disappear.
We owe it to New Orleans, we owe it to the world. Keep it going.
We'll always pass down the knowledge, but what are we doing with this gift of music? How are we going to move people and change our blocks?
Never stop changing, but it never stops staying the same.
Take Me to the River is playing in select theaters beginning Friday, April 22nd, 2022. We'll be sharing more on this film as that date gets closer. With that, we have made it to the final story in this week's Uplifting Entertainment Countdown. Here's what's finishing on top this week. At number 1. Sight and Sound Theater's doors are open again with a new Bible production, The Story of David.
On opening day, we have a sold-out show, and we are donating all of the proceeds from that opening show to relief organizations to help those in the Ukraine that are being affected by the violence right now. And you know, for us, like, we are just overwhelmed with gratitude at where we are and what the Lord has done, and it is a way for us to give back.
Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me.
David, for you, is this your first round as a full producer?
Uh-huh. Yeah, this is my first time producing a show. So thankfully, I've had about 15 years in the design department working under our other producers.
Was producing a Goliath for you?
Yeah, you could definitely say that. You could say that. It's a big undertaking.
Getting King David's story from concept to stage took about 4 years. And of course, one of the most popular stories is the story of David defeating Goliath. In many ways, Sight and Sound Theaters faced a Goliath of its own before opening day. 2 years into the process, the world shut down, so employees couldn't get to work and theatergoers couldn't fill the seats.
The entertainment industry has been hit so hard over the last several years, and we know that it's nothing short of a miracle that we're even still here.
Still ahead, we return to the Adam Project. In the film, we see older Adam get to talk to younger Adam. If older Ryan could talk to younger Ryan, what would he tell him?
Not much. Let him go. let him fail.
For a final word from Ryan Reynolds.
Want to be a part of a community that inspires your spiritual growth while winning prizes? The all-new MyCBN app. Connect with the community for prayer and encouragement. Track and set spiritual goals. Enjoy conversation starters with friends and family. And collect points to win prizes. The all-new MyCBN app. A great place to belong. Download the app at cbn.com/mobile.
Nutrition, exercise, essential oils, weight loss, and more. It's Healthy Living with Lori Johnson.
Talk about what's in this.
Join CBN health reporter Lori Johnson to get the latest information from today's top health experts.
This is fantastic.
Find out what you need to know to live a healthier life. Watch Healthy Living Tuesday night at 8:30 on the CBN News Channel.
often we carry baggage from our past. You know what it's like. It affects everything and everyone in our lives. It's always there, weighing us down and keeping us from achieving true happiness. But do you know God never meant for us to be trapped in the past? You can be free of your baggage. Learn how God's forgiveness leads to changed lives and new beginnings. Call the 700 Club.
Welcome back to Studio 5, where the music continues to play. And this week it is Tauren Wells. Take a listen, and you'll hear why Fake It is what's playing in my ear this week.
Changing my altitude, your love is a whole new mood, something I can put my faith in. Oh, it's like a match in the dark, you're melting my plastic heart. This is real, don't have to fake it. Oh, you're changing my altitude, your love is a whole new mood, something I can put my faith in. Oh, it's like a match in the dark, you're melting my plastic heart. This is real, don't have to fake it.
Well, on that musical note, we are almost out of time for this edition of Studio 5, but we're already hard at work on next week's show. So let's look ahead to see what's on the rundown for that one.
Can you help me sing this? Everybody say this is why.
Singer and songwriter Major makes his return to Studio 5.
Before people knew of me for "This Is Why I Love You," I was told so many no's, still experience no's, and so many opinions of experts telling me a song's not gonna work on radio.
With the story behind what is still his most popular song. God spoke to you and said that if you sing about me,
the rest of the world
will join.
Oh, you've been doing some research. All right, brother. That's it, yeah. As I was writing Why I Love You.
Because you love me.
Hope you'll join us for that story and so much more come next week. Before we say goodbye today, we want to return to actor Ryan Reynolds for a final word for this show. In the film, we see older Adam get to talk to younger Adam. If older Ryan could talk to younger Ryan, what would he tell him?
Not much. Let him go. let him fail. Go fail, kid. Go fall on your face. Go, everything I've been lucky enough to grow from in life has been born of a giant mistake or misunderstanding or a blind spot or anything like that. They're all avenues to learning and growing, and so I would let that kid fall flat on his face and get out there and acquire his own unique knowledge from those mistakes. So.
Ryan Reynolds, that is a great final word for this edition of Studio 5 and this week's look at uplifting entertainment. Until next time, make time to uplift someone around you, and then please come on back. See where Studio 5 takes you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.